An absolute pleasure to welcome back to the podcast the show's most frequent guest, the show's most popular guest, most beloved guest, Jake Hicks. Jake, the last time we spoke was in middle of March. In summary, I just laid out to the listeners what you and I talked about, but really quickly, you were living in Fort Myers, Florida, or St. Pete, I forget. Going door-to-door solar panel salesman. You were doing okay. One of your big sales was to a lady in a car down the street. You're bopping around in the neighborhoods, playing basketball with the local kids to try to get yourself in the good graces of the neighborhood so you can eventually sell solar to them. Also, you're doing a little traveling. You're going to Mexico. Your luggage gets lost. You were meeting up with your dad at some point, but he came to Florida and you were elsewhere, something like that. All sorts of crazy stories that you told the last time. And you said to me a couple weeks ago that you've got more updates going on in your life. So I'm really curious to find out about what is going on in the world of Jake Hicks. But first, before we get there, Jake, what's up? How are you?
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm good. Yeah, we've hit some new hurdles, some new checkpoints. Going off of that last bit, playing in that neighborhood, just talking to people in their cars, landed me a very lucrative commercial deal. So that commercial deal is worth north of $80,000 in commission, which we are waiting for the final proposal, but it is 3 tennis courts of solar panels.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me more. Congrats. How did you land this?
So it was my first day of work. I was working the night shift, as I told all the homeowners as I was knocking dark. It was back in November, and it was just a couple, an older couple hanging in their garage. They invited me in for a beer, and I said, finally, took my hat off, just talked to them. Kept trying to looping it back. And we just stayed in contact. They said, yeah, you should really put solar on the commercial, on our commercial bit, on the clubhouse, in our restaurant. Turned out the roof wasn't big enough. They had some excess tennis courts that they wanted to, not have to keep repaving, redoing, kind of keeping up with. And we proposed to put a solar farm on there. So with this new company I'm with, I had to jump ship from the last company to this company. I'm now in Orlando. It's been a smooth transition.
Okay. So why did you leave the last company?
We need a better structure. Me and my coworker, Will Donovan. So we met this guy, Alex Smith, in Dallas. We kind of went on a whim to a big convention in our industry. And yeah, he kind of pitched us some lofty expectations of what we could do. And we kind of shadowed him, went down to Orlando, kind of stayed in a hotel for a little bit. And it's really taken off so far. In the last week, I've done 6 accounts, which is really great.
Wow. Okay. So you've gone from St. Pete, Fort Myers area, old company, to a new company in Orlando. And so this is so funny to me because just obviously during the last year and change, people have struggled finding jobs. It's been a rough job market, but you've just easily jumped ship from one company to the next without much time in between.
Yeah, pretty much 0 time in between. We kind of make our own schedules. So I took some time off in between. We were recruited where we went to like an amusement park, kind of met some of the guys, kind of saw their culture. Took a couple of days to, kind of hash it out, talk with my parents. And it just made more sense. It had better pay, better structure, better culture, and a better market, honestly. So it was kind of a win across the board.
Okay. So how are you doing now financially? Obviously, an $80,000 deal is sweet, but in comparison to the old place, what is it like?
That deal would have been worth only about 60 at the old company. So we're just part of a bigger branch. We have bigger commercial partners. We have a better product. lower financing. So it makes more sense for the customer, which I obviously want to make sure that they get the best deal they can. So it had to do with that, but mostly just the training and the opportunity to kind of grow from an actual solar entrepreneur. He's been doing it close to 5 years now in the door-to-door industry, which is insane. And it's really helped me grow too. I'm honestly leading trainings in our company now with the new setters, kind of just showing them how to ease their way into it, which I think I touched on last time, dealing with the no's and dealing with the lifestyle. It's quite an insane lifestyle.
How so?
I mean, you're not required to work. You're like, you have to show up to the office and then you have to go talk to homeowners all day. So it's your choice how many you want to talk to. If you want to talk to 100, if you want to talk to 0, it's kind of up to you.
What have you learned most about yourself in this time down in Florida?
That I can do this. At first, that, it was a new industry. It was a new product that I didn't know much about. I didn't really have much, support down here. I was just kind of Airbnb, living, in hotels and Airbnbs. But that anything's really possible, I guess. You're not gonna die. Things will get better. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm still, working my way through, but it's been quite an adventure. It's been an experience, to say the least.
Yeah, last time we spoke, it seemed like like most of us, you had your good days, you had your bad days, not just from a sales perspective, but more just from a mindset perspective and mental health perspective. So how are you doing on that front as you tackle this life every day?
A lot better. Just the community of people I'm around, is a lot brighter. There's just more similarities. There's more sports guys. There's more guys my age, mid, early 20s. So the camaraderie's better. The leadership's really good. So, there's still those struggles. Today I just had 2 appointments cancel on me or reschedule. So there's always the uncertainty. You go to bed like, hey, I got 2 sits tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be the first day. I'm going to get the ball rolling. They text you at 8 a.m. like, hey, I'm feeling under the weather. Maybe next week. Hey, I can't today. Something came up. I have a doctor's appointment, whatever. So there's still a bunch of highs and lows, but I don't know. It's quite a pay structure difference. So you have to kind of budget accordingly. But I don't know. There's more highs than lows, I would say, now than in March or the last time we spoke.
So speaking of budget, obviously this is, what you're doing now is more money than what you were doing when you were coaching kids in the city and all the various things you were doing there. So how do you go about trying to make sure that you are spending money and saving money and investing money or whatever it is that you do and doing it responsibly?
Yeah. It's about an 80-20 split right now. 80% is honestly going to savings because we do make a lot of money, and 20% is just for my living expenses, my car, rent, student loans. And then most of our entertainment is covered by our company, honestly. Our boss takes us out and we don't have to spend too much money. I live with 6 guys, 5 other people. So it's very cheap, but it is something else being the oldest guy.
Now the last company was covering your rent. Is this one as well?
This one is not. That is the one stipulation.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Damn, that's wild. All right, so you said you're the oldest guy among 6 in the group that you're living with?
There's 5 of us, 4 St. John Fisher dropouts at this point. They are 22. And then there's 1 that is 21 who has been with me from the beginning.
Okay, so are all of these guys working for the same company as you?
Yeah.
Okay, what's it like living with that many people?
It's been nice because none of us are home during the day, and we're all cool with watching the playoffs at night. So we just kind of come home from work, do some role play, hash out our days, talk about some wins, watch basketball, kind of cook, and then just go to bed.
What's life in Orlando like?
It's hotter than St. Pete. It's a little bit warmer. It's been raining a ton, which is an absolute blast to knock in. If you knock with a partner, we just let them know we're the local weatherman. It's going to be raining all day. We're just doing something a little bit different, and we kind of get into it that way. But it beats the heat. Yeah, it's been 90 plus every day down here.
Okay, so when we have spoken in the past, I think I'd asked you if you saw this being where you wanted to be long term. And I think you had said that what you're doing in St. Pete, you said, yeah, I can see myself doing this for a couple of years. Now, that has obviously changed. You're doing the same job, but different company, different location within Florida. What do you think about this one, about this new company, and about being in Orlando? How feasible long term do you think this is?
Yeah, I still want to stay in the industry. I still believe in the product. Probably the goal in a couple months is to start my own office, probably in Tampa, in another territory. So what we're doing here is growing very fast. We did 15 deals last week, which is like, let me think, probably like, I don't know, like $900,000 of business.
Not bad.
Not bad. So yeah, me and one of our roommates, the goal is to be opening an office at the end of the summer, which seems pretty lofty, but at this pace, it's definitely a goal. So that would be the new next stepping stone, would be opening our own office.
What is it that excites you most about the future of the solar industry?
Well, there's a deadline in the industry. So the government covers a majority of the out-of-pocket expenses. So as long as the government is shelling out, $10,000, $15,000 to each homeowner, it is amazing. So that is only going to go for the next 2 years, 2.5 years. So we'll see what the new Green Deal will be, and if they'll extend the renewable energy or not.
Right. Okay.
So we're kind of playing it day by day. So this is definitely the gold rush for the next 2 years.
Also, last time we spoke, you were being a vegan, but half of the time. I'm wondering if that is still going on.
We've slowed down the vegan train. I do not live with any vegans. It's still mostly chicken and rice, steak and rice, a lot of Chipotle. But no, the vegan train has slowed down.
Are you playing ball at all?
Yeah, so we have team building every Wednesday. We've been playing basketball. It's been beach volleyball, basketball, and next week I think is going to be frisbee golf. So we got 4 hoopers. So we went 3-1 in the 3-on-3 tournament.
Okay.
So, yeah. I definitely don't have the same stamina, that I once had.
Yeah, that happens. I played for the first time last week in about a year. Was playing full court with a bunch of Harvard kids. So I'm playing with a bunch of nerds here, and some of them were pretty good though. I'm not gonna lie. And I didn't have my same touch. Not playing a year and a half, you lose your touch around the basket. You lose your spatial awareness sense, but that aggressiveness of which I used to play with, I still very much play with. And I don't know if you struggle with this playing pickup ball, but it was just ingrained in me from such an early age to be so competitive. And I step on the floor, and no matter who I'm playing against, and even if there's absolutely no stakes in it, nothing riding on it whatsoever, if someone scores on me, I want to rip their head off. And I'm going to get in their grill the rest of the game. And I'm going to throw bows, and I'm going to play a little dirty. Do you do anything like that, like channeling your old competitiveness, or do you just chill?
No, I'm more chilled. Definitely, if it's like a series, we'll try to conserve energy for the last game and take it more seriously. But I'm just out there to, get some cardio, get some sweat, get everyone involved, a big team player, and then just play a lot of offense and just a little bit of defense, I would say.
Some things never change.
I think we were co-defensive players of the year back in the day.
We were. I don't know how you shared in that honor with me. You did get a lot of deflections because of your long arms, so I had to work a lot harder to get my award than you. All right, so to wrap up here, our guy Kevin Huerter just had an awesome game. Game 7 of the playoff in the Eastern Conference against the Philadelphia 76ers. They are advancing to play the Milwaukee Bucks. This episode drops Thursday. We're talking on Monday. Game 1 is Wednesday. So when you're listening to this episode, no idea what happens, but I hope Kevin and the Hawks beat the Bucks. What did you make of Kevin's memorable Game 7 performance that saved the Hawks' life?
Yeah, it's incredible just hearing, the halftime crew, Kenny, Chuck, and Charles, Shaq talk about him.
Yeah.
Seeing him all over the internet, like on Twitter and everything. It's just great. We've known Kevin for so long and how good he is and, kind of how underrated he is, honestly, in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like in the fantasy world, he's been a top 75 guy for like 2 years now. So it's just great to, see him actually just come out and do what he does.
Yeah.
We talked about him being in a contract year as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Huge. He got paid last night.
Yeah.
I asked Mikey Minor when I had him on the show a couple months ago, because he obviously played with Kevin even more than us, played with him every year growing up as they were kids. And I asked him if he thought when he was playing with him growing up, when they were 12 years old, did you think Kevin Huerter was going to play in the NBA? And he said, no, the thought never even crossed my mind. And even when we were with him in high school, I played with him for 3 years. The thought still never crossed my mind. It wasn't until his sophomore year of college at Maryland, or maybe freshman or sophomore year, where I saw him on the floor, saw how big he was. I always knew how deep he could shoot it from, but the fact that he could shoot it over tall defenders and was now a little stronger and more athletic and could take it to the lane and not get destroyed, that was when I knew that, he can go to the NBA. At what moment did you think he could go to the league?
I thought he was going to the league his senior year at Shen.
Really?
Because Luke was on his team and they were really good. So he was coming off of a state championship his junior year with Tom Fish and all of them. And I remember coming back right around Christmas time, and he was, probably 6'6", 6'7". And he just looked in complete control. He looked like it was just a pickup game for him. I think he probably had 25, 26 in the first half. Perfect shooting, 8 for 8 from 3, perfect from the line. So yeah, I thought he had a chance then, because he got offered by all the major schools. I just think a lot of City Rocks guys went to Notre Dame or a few of the schools that he had in mind, and he wanted to do something a little bit different. And going there, from Maryland, I thought he had a real shot. I thought he would stay longer than he did.
I think he did too. Yeah.
Yeah. But you definitely, if you went to his game senior year, it definitely looks like he had a chance.
Do you harbor any resentment toward the fact that our senior year, he was a sophomore, he hadn't had a major growth spurt yet. He was growing, and he, just before our last game, 2 weeks before our last game in high school, he threw down his first dunk.
Oh yeah.
And I remember him hurting his hand on the rim, and so I do harbor some resentment, laughably, that damn, I wish he had just shot up a little sooner, and maybe we could have won sectionals.
Yeah, I don't hold on to anything like that, but I do remember that him in one of those scrimmages cutting his hand on the rim.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I don't. I mean, I'm glad that Shen got the accomplishment. Felt like it was building forever. I felt like we could have said that for a lot of the teams in the past. If one or two things switched up, they could have done it. We could have done it. But I mean, it was just a great accomplishment. Playing at Chen and going through all those long years of commitment. So it would have been nice, get the state championship or the section championship. So we probably would have won states. I mean, Green Tech walked through the state, but no, I don't think I hold anything against Kev on that one.
You are a better man than I. Jake, is there anything else going on in your life before we let you go that you want to update us on? Music you're into, movies we should watch, girls in your life, like what else is going on?
Nothing's really going on. Nothing crazy. We're just focusing on work. We're just doing the grind. Like I mentioned, the money is crazy, and I just want to focus on that for the next 24 months. So we'll see where it comes. We're still waiting on big checks, like we always are. You're always waiting for the next one to come in. But the checks are very big. So when you get the next one, it's quite a good feeling, and it keeps you working hard.
Hell yeah. Love to hear it, Jake. I always knew that sales was your forte. You are a great people person. People love being around you, and they just invite you into their homes for beers, and then you eventually get sales off them. So, Jake, thank you for joining me. And I can't wait to have you again in here in a couple months to find out about what else is going on in your life.
Yeah. I would love to share. Hopefully these big commercial deals I was talking about have gone through by then.